so good tonight.
Why am I? Oh, there we go. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I see already people in that little square now.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh my God, this rain has me so like, woo.
I mean, it's
Are
it's
we
getting
ready to
real. I'm gonna
go?
turn off my messages just so storyboard casting. Hello. People are like, hello from Toronto, Canada. Hey Patrick. Do people see me?
Yeah, we're live. I think so. Are
Oh,
we ready to
holy
go?
smokes.
We are live. And I
We
have
are
lipstick on
live
my
a minute
teeth.
early.
I think we're good to go.
I think we are
I
good to
think we
go. Let's just
are.
maybe wait till the actual tick of three. We
Okay.
got Natalia from Toronto, Canada. Hey Brad. Hey
Toronto, my
Krista,
favorite
looking
city.
forward to this.
Yes.
Storyboard. Hi from San Francisco. Aloha.
Hello from
People
Boston.
from
Hi,
Boston.
Katarina.
Everybody coming in.
This
Gosh,
is
hey
awesome.
everybody. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming on.
Yes, yes. Thank you guys so much. Welcome to our Share Town Hall. We're so excited that you guys are able to join us today. We well, first, I'm Erin Norman. I am the CEO and co founder of Share. And this gentleman, this incredible producer next to me with the $1 million smile, we always talk about his teeth because they're awesome.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
This is Mr. Patrick Caligiuri. As you guys know him as producer Patrick. And we're so happy you guys could join us today. We've been working our butts off for the last 2 years, getting Share off the ground. And as you guys know him as producer Patrick and follow him, I'm sure you saw his videos. And the moment that he actually posted something about Share, it was like the floodgates were open and all of you guys reached out. It was really cool because we got like 95% of like amazing support from our community. But we got tons of questions. I mean, we
Mhm.
were like, lots of people had questions, and we thought the best way to address these questions and to engage with you guys and our community is to host this. So you guys can actually put your questions in the comments, and we're here to answer. And we're excited about it. So I guess
And
also,
just to also chime in on you is how many startups or platforms actually go to the community and say, hey, we're building something, but we actually want you guys to weigh in. We want you guys to ask questions. I don't think you really get that. And I think one of the big things that we're trying to promote is community.
yeah.
And that's one thing I've seen since the beginning of my videos. I first put the video out there just saying, hey, I ain't gonna bullshit you. Here's what's happening. And in our industry, we're all kind of thinking that that's how you get ostracized. That's how you get kicked out is say what you shouldn't be
Blackballed.
saying. But the exact opposite has happened, and it's been a tsunami of support. And I'm starting to realize there's more of a community that when we all start from the get-go, we're kind of against each other. We're always told like, we're
Hmm.
supposed to be eating each other as opposed to supporting each other and sharing resources. And
Right.
I know it's difficult times for everybody right now. It's difficult for me. The jobs just strictly aren't there. The projects aren't there, and even the projects that are there, they're not necessarily things that we want to work on, because this industry has shifted into this corporate structure that it doesn't work as well as it used to. But to see this community come together, and I understand there's a lot of skepticism that comes with share. It's like, is it going to work? Do I really need to invest my time? I don't want to get bamboozled. My life has already been devastated, because I don't have the livelihood and the sustainable livelihood that I did before.
Hmm.
But to be honest, from the get-go, we're building this for filmmakers. We're
For
building this
us.
for creatives because we are, and we understand the
Yeah.
pain, and this is our chance to actually do something about it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said that because I always tell people like FUBU, it's like for us by us. It's like this is built seriously though. It's like this is built by filmmakers for filmmakers. And for a lot of people who don't know what Share is, we're a platform. We're going to be launching on the 24th. And basically, we want to empower filmmakers all over the globe, the globe. So, our idea and our mission is to make sure that filmmakers can monetize their work at whatever stage they're at. So, whether it's short films, documentaries, features, even music videos, we would like to or we're creating a platform that's going to give you guys the tools to do that. Our tagline is connect, create, collect. So the first thing is, connecting, like Patrick was saying, the community, like getting everybody together. So you don't have to be in one of the big film hubs. Like, let's just say you live in like Cincinnati, Ohio. You could put in your zip code and you could see immediately what other filmmakers are around. You could, post your projects on there to see what interest you get. You could submit yourself to projects. So all of that, you don't have to have an agent or manager. And unlike, Staff Me Up and Mandy and some of these other platforms, you don't have to go through a middleman or a gatekeeper. You can actually, connect directly with your with the project creator or with other creatives on the platform. With that being said, our idea, and we feel like this is what Hollywood has been missing even before the strikes, okay, is that every single person that works on a project and participates, puts labor into a project, should be able to participate in the profit sharing as well. They should share in the
Hmm.
success. For so freaking long, it's only been the above the line, and we want to eliminate that line. That's kind of our goal. That's
Hmm.
what we are doing. If you sign up for Share, um, you know, at the, if you sign up for Share, you have to agree to profit share, period. It doesn't matter. If you put a project on there, every single person has to get a fraction of a point. You, as a project creator, gets to decide that. But at the end of the day, that is what our platform is all about. And as you know, Patrick, we've talked to so many people who are like, how is this going to work? Because, above the line, duh, 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 people have their, cynical, posts. But
Skepticism. It's
yeah,
Hollywood. Like Hollywood, I think we're also kind of, again, in terms of going against each other. It's like how many people poo-poo ideas. Like, I have this great idea, and it's not gonna work. It's not a great film. Like the Duffer Brothers and Stranger Things. Like, nobody's gonna want to watch kids. Like, that's just the innate nature of our business, is
until it
to
works.
have skepticism until it works, and then everybody's like, it's the greatest idea. I supported it from the beginning. I was right there.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
agents. The agents don't show up until it's a success. Hey, where's my 10%? It's like, what'd you do?
Yeah.
um
Yeah, but poo poo
but
on it.
the big part of this is the sustainability. And look, I started out as a production assistant. Like, I started in Hollywood, in LA, in my 20s, in my early 20s, as that coffee getter, making copies and all of that stuff. And I worked my way to showrunner. And
Hmm.
it was a long slog, but still, I finally get to a showrunner position, and it's still not a sustainable industry. I'm still
Right.
like barely making ends meet. It didn't make sense. I thought, like, by the time you get here, you were supposed to be well connected. And I have so many connections in this industry, and what's
Yeah.
worse is that your connections are also hurting too. So you know
Mhm.
that it's not necessarily you, and I think that's one of the biggest thing right now is that we take these things so personally because we're so passionate about this industry. We
Yeah.
love what we do. We didn't get into it to make money. And like I was telling you before, when my father found out that I was majoring in television and film, he freaked out. He's like, sure you don't want to go to business school? I'm like, no, Dad, I gotta make TV shows. I gotta move to LA. And it's just like, he's like,
Yeah.
fuck my life. It's like
Yeah.
I can't with this kid.
Yeah.
But I did it because I loved it, and I
Right.
didn't get in it to make money. However, if you do what you love, the money should be there. There's plenty to go around. We see it all the time. If they have
Yeah.
$200 million to drop on Joker 2, they got plenty of money to make more television shows, more movies, and stop making the sequels or the comic book movies or the stuff that the corporations that are running it, the business people that are running this industry now are no longer creatives. They
Yeah.
come from
Right.
accounting backgrounds, they come from the tech industry.
Mhm.
They think they know how to be storytellers, but the storytellers are the ones who know how to be storytellers. There's so many scripts out there. There's so many fantastic
Right.
original ideas that get passed up every single day. Another perfect example is I had my own show that I had worked on for 7 years last year. And again, like I'm at an executive producer level. I finally get it to a massive network. They look at it, they love it. They go, wow, we haven't seen a concept like this in ages. The format is great. And it stayed at this network for about 2 months.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is finally it. Finally, the break that we all kind of like,
Oof.
pray to the production gods for.
Yeah.
And then that network came back, I'm not going to say which one it was, and they said, sorry, we can't do the show because our mandate is that it has to have IP attached to it.
Oh, yeah.
And to hear that they knew it was a great idea, but they
Mhm.
just couldn't um greenlight it just for the fact that it didn't have a brand that could be associated with it. And we've seen like major stars. We've seen like Michael B. Jordan, who's one of the
Oh,
biggest stars in
yeah.
Hollywood, has projects and he can't get over the goal line. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's not just the small people trying to, you know, with their fantastic ideas trying to break through. It's even like the major players can't
Oh,
even get
yeah.
their stuff through, and it's like, sorry, but we're gonna make Captain America again.
Again, yeah.
Um and and that's what we're gonna have to do. And then some of us are just like, well, we have to feed our families, we have to keep our lights on, so we
Yeah.
do the things um that are not really our passion projects, but we know we can do better. And this is a
Oh,
chance
absolutely.
to take that leverage back for the creatives away from the gatekeeping system. And it's not to
Mhm.
say that Netflix is not going to exist. We don't want to get them out of business, but we
Yeah.
do want Netflix to say, we want to say to Netflix, like, you don't own everything, and snuff out your writers and snuff out your directors and pay everybody as minimum as you can make it. We're going to make the projects, and
Mm.
Netflix can look to share and say, wow, that's a really amazing movie, or that's a great series. We want that. And it's like, okay, well, Netflix, then you have to earn it and you have to pay the right price
Yep.
for it. So the people that work on these projects, the people that make the sausage, which unfortunately the ones in the C-suites they have no input on how to
Oh,
make this.
yeah. No.
The creatives that make it should deserve um should deserve, the rewards for it.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you say like Michael B. Jordan, because I remember years ago, like Whoopi Goldberg got shit because she started a Kickstarter for her film. And like Zach Braff has done it. And I mean, Whoopi Goldberg, who is like literally one of the most talented people on planet Earth, like an EGOT, like incredible. Zach Braff is super talented. Like, if these people cannot, they've already shown and proven, you know what I mean? If they can't get their stuff greenlit, like what does that say for the other 90% of us? And so when we, came up with the idea of share, it was like, this has to change. So what is it about how can we do something to where one, filmmakers and creatives, can get paid for what they, for their labor? How can we get funding in the hands of filmmakers? But most importantly, like, how do we level the game, because it's so lopsided and it's so ridiculous. And I remember we had a meeting with a big producer early on with Cher, who was like I mean, it was like a kind of a heated debate on a Zoom, because he
Hmm.
kept saying to us, "You guys have a brilliant idea, and it's gonna be $1 billion thing, but it won't work because producers will not, they're not going to pay people and split profits. Like, that's just ridiculous. That doesn't happen in Hollywood." I was like, well, actually, it does. It happens for Tom Cruise and
Hmm.
Brad Pitt, and they get paid their 20 million, they get an executive producer, and they also get equity in the project. So, like, how come it
100%.
doesn't apply to every single other crew and cast member who contribute to that, the success? So, our profit sharing tools on Share, one of the things that the first thing that we thought about was that everyone has to share. That's why our co-founder Leo actually came up with the name. He was like, "I got the perfect name, Share." And I was like, "Oh my God, I love it." So that was one of the things that we thought about. It was like, you know what? If everyone shares in the profits, and it's not always going to be equal. Sing Sing just did it. They got
Hmm.
nominated for 3 Oscars, and we saw that they just did it. And they did something, they took it a step further too, where they paid every single person the same amount. And so then they sold it to A24. And
Hmm.
so what they did was, on the back end, depending on how much you worked on the project, would depend on the equity you would get. But
Hmm.
everyone still got equity, every single person, from the
Hmm.
PA to the director. So that's our idea. Well, somebody else thought about it too, but they're doing it on smaller productions. So, like, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have their artist equity. Mark Ruffalo did it on his last project. And so a lot of people are moving into this because we all know, as creatives in our community, this isn't sustainable. So we created Share. We've been working. We are a tech startup company that is going to empower filmmakers. Uh-oh, looks like I'm frozen. Can you hear me? And it froze at a bad time too. Don't empty the trash, please. Uh-oh, am I back? Can you hear me? Hello. Okay. Oh, yeah, please don't empty the trash or do anything.
No, it says that the
Oh, are we here? Can anyone hear me? Uh-oh, buffering, it froze. And Patrick froze too, or just us?
this computer is not powerful enough.
Hi. Can you guys hear me? Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, are you back? So sorry about that. I
Someone
don't know
didn't
if
pay
it's
their internet bill.
no. We got like rain here. It's like storming here, so I think our Wi-Fi kind of went out. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it for sure. I think we're
And
back.
yeah. Are we back on YouTube? We can hear, but the
We're
video
back
is
on you.
frozen.
The video still on YouTube is frozen, but I think people were saying they could hear us.
Okay, we're back. Linda Evans just said we're back. Thank you,
Okay.
Linda.
I mean, I'm on YouTube right now, and it looks a little. It's just kind of finally catching up now. And then I
Okay.
left.
Yeah. I'm like talking to the producer, like, wait, don't do this. What's going on? Okay. 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 We're back. I think I was talking about Sing Sing. And I was also mentioning how in Hollywood, people are already using this model, but what what we're doing is on a bigger scale, because we're a global platform. We are a tech startup, but we're serving filmmakers, and so we wanted to tell you guys about what we were doing, and then answer any questions that you guys might have. Um, but I wanted to also really just quickly say, like, when I reached out to Patrick, because he really is a man of the people, and he's been approached by so many companies. When I reached out to him, one of the first things he said was like, you know what, I'm doing my thing. Like, I just like to, report and let the industry know what's going on. I'm not trying to be a part of anything. And I'll let you tell them why, uh, you decided, but literally he was like, yeah,
To get into this story, I think I expressed myself really well, which is, you know, I'm not. A lot of people are like, you're just doing this for fame and fortune, and trust me, I worked in unscripted TV for 20 years. I've seen what fame does to people. I have no
mm-hmm.
interest in fame whatsoever. But I ain't gonna say I don't like it, but I'm not in this. I'm in this because I care about my community. I care
Right.
about filmmakers. As someone who works in unscripted, we're not like the producers of film. We're in there in the trenches. We're with the camera guys. We're with the audio guys. We are on set. We are essentially kind of like walking writers. Um,
Yes.
so I understand as a showrunner, my motto has always been on set, like, if I take care of my crew will take care of me. And
Yes.
that is always, and I've held on to that as long as I've had my career. And to see other crew members hurting was really my call to action, to let the industry know what was going on. That's when you reached out to me,
Yeah.
and I didn't have an interest in monetizing it. Anybody on TikTok or Instagram could, point to their product and sell you cheap fake shit. I'm not into that. I don't want to do that. I want to actually
Right.
generally help people. And when you reached out to me, I was like, oh, what's this business? What's this deal? And I blew you off. I did.
Totally
I
turned
was
me
like,
down. Yeah.
totally turned you
Rejected
down,
me.
rejected, get out of here. You just,
But
but
wait,
then,
let me say really quick. I'm sorry, but the reason why, because I really didn't want to go after anybody. Like, you know what I mean? I have friends that work in the industry that are tied to some celebs and people that have expressed like the interest in, like, equal uh or equity, sharing and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But it was so crazy because everything that you talked about on your videos we were talking about, like, at the same time. And it was like you would post a video and we'd be like, shit, we just literally had this conversation. So my sister Ivy was like, you got to talk to this guy. This is the guy. And yeah, and the moment we connected, it was a great synergy because we realized that our mission and goals were very much aligned, where it was like, we want to we got to change this shit. Like, we got to revolutionize this because the gatekeepers and the people in Hollywood, they have no reason to do so. And,
Mhm.
during the strikes, when people, they didn't care, people were losing their houses and all this stuff was going on. It was like, okay, what are we going to do? And what's interesting is we had a meeting the week before with the celebrity for one of our projects who was really interested in the project, wanted to come on and executive produce, and was going to take it to CBS because they had a first look deal. We thought, just like you, this is it. We're finally going to make it. 20 years in the industry, we're going to get there. And literally, that next Tuesday, the strikes happened. They couldn't talk about it anymore. And so I've been there where you think every single, you have a win, you feel like that Hollywood big break, which I freaking hate that term. The big break drives me crazy because, why do you have to wait 10 years to break into an industry? Why do you have to, the ideas that you go and you know you work so hard and you have to put in your dues. I had a Hollywood producer tell me, well, you're trying to skip the line. You got to put in your dues. You got to do this.
Mhm.
And it was like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Like, what? This is art. Like, who says there's a time frame on when I should be successful? So, with all that being said, and we're freezing again. I see it happening. I don't know if you could see that, everyone, but I guess we'll just read the questions because um let's just see for just a second because it feels like it's freezing up on us. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's
And
the
Chris
Wi-Fi.
Graves, I see what you wrote. I love you. It's been a long time. Another producer used to work on Amazing Race with me, and she's
Oh,
saying
hi
your
Chris.
flattery will get you everywhere in life.
Yes.
But yeah, I think, a lot of people are here to ask questions. And
Yeah.
I think, that's why we're here today. We could run our mouths and talk about how great Share is, but I think we really have to, we're here to answer your questions about Share and not just talk about ourselves as much as we love to.
Yes.
So I'll let
Uh,
you take those reins.
Okay, great. I see Tony, actor here, so excited, following Patrick every step of the way. Thank you, Tony. I see a question down here from Jason Matthewson. I'd love to hear how projects get financed. All right, this is awesome. So, um, let us go ahead and get into that. Um, we decided basically the number one thing that all of us need is funding. Really, I feel like the two biggest components is funding and distribution, but it all starts with funding because people got to eat, we got to pay our workers for their hard work and dedication on our projects. And so we came up with a plan and something that we're launching with our platform. It's our promise to all of our filmmakers. And we are going to actually fund and invest in your projects. And what it's called is our Community Greenlight Initiative. This is how it works. Actually, when we launch, we're going to put a ticker on our platform. And for the first 50,000 people, paid subscribers, though, let me just go ahead and say that Share is free. You could join from anywhere in the world for free. You could connect with people. You could see what's on the platform, what other creatives are on the platform. But the moment that you want to participate in profit sharing, we do charge $9.99 a month. And that $9.99 a month, obviously, we would, love to do it for free as well, but we have operational costs. We have to pay employees. We have to pay tech, I'm sorry, pay our tech engineers and all of this. But we tried to keep the price point super, super low because, what is it? LinkedIn is $19.99. IMDb is $19.99.
Staff Me
Mandy.
Up is 14.99, and I think I've been paying that shit for 20 years, and I may have gotten 2 calls. But for some reason, I still like I'll go fish.
Oh, yeah.
But that it's not interactive. It's not a community. I'm just hoping desperately that somebody will call me back.
Uh,
And I think some of the people are like, just to maybe take a step back, you can bring your project to Share. It works like social media, meaning I have a film. If you're a screenwriter, if you're a director, if you have a vision, and it doesn't have to be just a film, if it's a reality show,
yeah.
a
Series.
scripted series,
Mm-hmm.
a animation, that's what you put on your page. I am making this, correct?
Yeah.
And I'll let you kind of take take sort of a little bit more of a broader approach, Aaron.
Well, it's interesting. So you say Staff Me Up 14.99 and Mandy Network 14.99,
Hmm.
which I think
Right.
was bought by Backstage recently. And no shade to any of these companies because I'm sure they're doing great. But
No.
I've been on Mandy for years and I have experience. I've worked with Jamie Foxx. I've worked with Aaron Taylor Johnson, Morgan Neville, Cameron Crowe. I have not gotten one call back. So your 20 years in my, I'd say, like 10, I haven't had any jobs from those platforms. But
Hmm.
14.99 a month, guys, think about this. 14.99 a month. Mandy has 3.3 million subscribers. If you do the math, they generate $49 million a month. Yet none of these platforms give back to their film community. And that's where we're
That's
different.
right.
And that's none of them. IMDb has over 250 million visitors every single month, and they were bought by Amazon. We know that. But none of these platforms give back to the community that actually, build the platform, that actually make it. None of these companies would be anywhere without our creativity, our ideas, our hard work. Everything that we put into it as filmmakers is what builds these tech platforms. And this is where Share
Hmm.
is completely different. It's our promise to you. I'm saying it right here. It's going to be on our website. We promise to give away at least 25% of the amount that of the paid subscribers we have because we actually have to. So we're kind of like recycling the money. We're creating our own economy. So when we hit
Hmm.
50,000 subscribers on our platform, it's going to kick off our first community greenlight initiative. And what that means is um, we're going to allow filmmakers to put their projects on the platform, and
Hmm.
submit it to the community. And unlike the studios, we will never ever choose what projects get greenlit. We'll let the community do that. So we want to kind of step away, because if we're like the damn studios, then we're always going to try to make comic book movies or horror movies and whatever we think is going to make money. And that's not something that we're going to do. We're going to step aside. We're going to let the community decide. You could tell your friends, family members, everyone to vote. And when that deadline hits, whatever
Hmm.
project has the most funding, I'm sorry, the most votes, receives the funding. We would love, what our idea is to grow this so big, you guys, that we become our own studio system, where literally we have like four uh rounds every year, quarterly rounds. So Q1, we kick it off. Here's an example. Hi, we're kicking off Q1. It's January. This round, we're looking for a, political documentary or animated short or a rom com, and you guys can submit your projects. The deadline is this date. You can now have the time to get your crew together, try to, get your
Hmm.
project on the platform, and you'll have like 90 days to get everyone to vote. Friends, family, they can vote for free, and that's how that'll work. And so when you get like 1 million paid subscribers on our platform at $9.99, that's $10 million a month. How come we couldn't
Right.
give back to our community? I mean, the bigger we go, the more we can do. And we have to, the only thing we will be doing with our community greenlight initiative is picking the genres, because we have to mix it up. We have to do a
Hmm.
comedy and action. Like, if not, if it's just, free for all, we might just have like a platform full of horror movies. You know what I mean? Or, we wouldn't maybe have a lot of rom coms. So it's just to give all artists an opportunity to get the funding they need to get their projects off the ground. And another thing is we would have our own line producers help with the budget to make sure that, with the funding that we're giving to these
And
independent creators.
that's just entry level as well too. I
Yeah.
mean, here's the thing. Like I know there's been a lot of skepticism within the industry. Well, how does this funding work? How does this we understand that we are a growing platform. Like
Yes.
that we're not going to hit a home run, but if we could at least get a ground ball and get us the first,
Yeah.
then we're up and running. So the other things we want to do is we've seen the shift towards branded content as well, where maybe a female filmmaker is doing a wants to do a women's movie, but then that might be attractive to a L'Oreal or
Yes.
a lot of brands. Commercials are dying, but
Mm-hmm.
brands still want to get into storytelling, and this is a way also as an avenue. There's no network or structure that helps integrate brands directly with creatives. Brands
Yes.
don't know how to tell stories, but storytellers know how to tell stories. And
Yep.
somebody keeps asking, like, what's the website? It's www.theshareplatform.com.
Yeah. And right now our site is in beta. We are live, but we are in beta right now. And so what that means is that we have testers and people, checking things out, testing the all of our features and all of our tools, and we're reporting back to our developers, and they're on another site fixing everything that they're going to push live on the 24th. So you could still go right now and you could sign up, but I just want to, be patient with us, because like Patrick said, like, we are filmmakers. I don't have rich parents. I didn't get, money to, do this. This is not VC money. This is not studio money. This is us with our bare hands trying to build something, because we as filmmakers know that we all need this. The community needs this. So
Uh,
as you, navigate through our site, keep that in mind. But going back to funding, because someone had that question down there, that's what our community greenlight, that's how we plan to fund the projects, is that we grow, you grow. The more our platform grows, the more we're going to invest. I would love, like, my dream is to get to the amount of subscribers as Mandy is, 3.3 million, where $30 million a month that the platform makes. We're not a tech company. Like, we didn't get into this to be tech, billionaires. I mean, that'd be great, but that wasn't our idea. It was really to fix something that's broken in the system. And so we decided the only way we can do this is to put money back into the hands of the filmmaker. We do it.
mhm.
How else is it going to
And
happen?
I have to jump in because I see a lot of questions coming up about, how does this help film workers? How does this help? They're like, that's great. You can put your project on it. The idea, because another person was like, I'm an actor, and this doesn't sound like this is for me. Wrong. This is for
Yes.
everybody. If you're a
Mhm.
gaffer, if you're an audio mixer, if you are a camera, if you are a
Yep.
DP, if you are an actor, you go on and see these projects. Because I put a project on, I'm going to need a crew. I'm going to
Mhm.
need all these people that are going to work on my movie. I'm not just putting it up and hoping, it goes. The idea is also when you put these projects up on share, you're attracting the
Yeah.
people that you need for your movie. And this is going to be international, meaning like it could be in any city. If you live in Vancouver, if you live in Los Angeles, if you live in Europe, if you live in Australia, it's where you're at. You can connect with those members of your community. I'm trying to get this short film off the ground. Oh, you have a camera. Okay. Oh, you have and it's a way to also connect these creatives. So yes, if you are an actor, you can be on share. And if you're looking for a project to be an actor on a movie or a film or a scripted series, you can find what you want to work on the platform.
Yeah. Let me do this because I also saw someone say step by step. Here we go. Log on to share. Okay. I'm a writer. Actually, no, I am a gaffer. I log on to share. I create a profile. One thing,
Mhm.
your profile is your resume on share. No more sending your profile to a project creator, to a production. Everyone has the access to each other on our platform. That's how we connect. Uh, That's how we connect. Sorry.
Oh,
I don't know if this is coming back. It's the rain. It's like, ah. Anyway. Uh-oh.
you're back.
Okay, I'm back. All right. So that's how you're going to connect with other people. Excuse me. Um, you create your profile, you put your links up there, IMDb, Reel. If you're just starting out, you might not have a lot, but you might just have your photos and friends. You create a profile. Now you could find other people in your area because you put in your zip code and see what other creatives are around you, right? You can also see what projects are around you. So I'm a gaffer. I signed up. It's free. Oh, but this guy is looking for a gaffer for his, short film, and he doesn't have a lot of money. Maybe he has $100 a day, but he's going to feed me and he's also going to give me points on the back end. And I know what a lot of people think right there too. Short films, yeah, short films, because now you can make technology is different today. You can now have your short film on YouTube and monetize it. And even Netflix is buying short films. So if you want to submit yourself to that project, you just have to become a pro member at $9.99. And now you can submit yourself to that project directly to the project creator. They'll get a message in
Mhm.
their inbox. Hey, Samantha, this gaffer, is interested in your project. They want to submit. They notice you're giving this much on the back end, blah, blah, blah. You can negotiate that yourselves. We have nothing to do with that. That is up to you guys. The project creator gets to decide how many points and what equity they want to give away, but it is mandatory. You have to share in that. So if you're a project creator, if you're an actor, crew, animator, this is the platform for you because wherever you are in the world, you could connect with other people and everyone could put their projects on here. You don't have to put it on another staff me up site or anything and then wait for them to kind of funnel the talent to you. You can actually connect directly to the talent and vice versa. And so, excuse me, that's something that we want to make sure everybody understands is that you can connect directly with them. And unlike, IMDb, this is a space for our community of positivity. We're not allowing anyone to do like negative, reviews and stuff like that. This is going to be like LinkedIn in the sense of like you could just endorse people. So, like
Mhm.
Patrick, when you sign up, I'm sure you're going to get a lot of endorsements because I already see them here in the messages. But you can have, people that have worked with you can say, I'm endorsing you. So if I go look at
Mhm.
you for my horror project or my reality project, and I see you have 30 endorsements and there's someone else that only has like two, I might lean more towards you or, depending on your rate and, what our budget is. And also, that's another thing. If you don't have a budget, still put your project on there. I mean, Christopher
Mhm.
Nolan, his first project, he didn't have money. He got with friends and they got together every Saturday for a whole year to shoot something. They wore their own clothes, they brought their own lunch. So you know what I mean, it's like
A-
we gotta
And
we gotta
Aaron,
get
you should
back to that.
also say, right, and we should also say you have the opportunity to invest in people's projects as well. So if
Oh
you want to just
yes.
go on share and you're like, I'm not a creative, I'm a finance guy. I like movies, but I don't know how to make them. But I got $50,000 I want to invest. They can go on and invest into your project,
Yeah, that's
and
another
then they
thing.
get a piece of that. Yeah, so that's another
Yes.
thing we want to also include.
Yeah, and one of the things that makes that possible is like SEC laws have changed so much in the last like 10 years, where before you couldn't do that. So in the past, it was like, I'm sure someone told you about their Kickstarter campaign or their GoFundMe, and they would ask for donations for a DVD or their name in the credits. But now you got WeFunder, you got Start Engine, and like WeFunder, I believe they did like 11 million for Legion M Films, which is, fans
Hmm.
invested in that company. And so we've actually been talking to them, and we're partnering with them so there could be like a direct funnel where they'll give our filmmakers a discount. So let's say you join Share, you put all your information on your project and you got people coming on, but you have no funding. After you build your project and you get, your artwork together, your log line, you do all this, now you got your gaffers, you got all these people that are interested in working. Once it is funded and you've negotiated your rate, now you could kick off your WeFunder campaign. And now you could, all everyone that's involved now, they got stake in the game. They got equity. So they're going to be telling their friends and family and everyone, and it could be like a donate not I'm sorry, an investment of like $60, $100. Like I
Hmm.
believe Legion and Films raised 11 million and their minimum investment was like $40. So like these are things that you can do, but we have to get together to do it. These tools now
Hmm.
exist for us. You know what I mean? WeFunder and the SEC laws have changed so much. So now people can invest in your projects. And that's another thing. Every project I've worked on in the past, I'm sure you could say this, when it is a wrap and the project is over, every crew member is done. They're gone. They're off to look for their next project because we're freelancers. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's next? Now I got to get going. But when they have equity in a project, not only are they putting their best foot forward, so I think we're going to get even better productions, but when the production is over, it's not over for them. Now they're going to it's like you have a built-in marketing tool. You know what I mean? Where they're
Hmm.
going to go and tell their friends, their cousins, like everyone involved is now working to lift this project up. Where for the longest time that hasn't been, the way it's gone down. So, yeah.
And again, that's how we build a sustainable livelihood. One of the problems I think that any person who works freelance in the entertainment industry knows all too well is you work on a project, and you watch your bank account fill up, and then that hiatus between a project, you watch your bank account go back down, and then you're like, I gotta need to have work. And then for the last 2 years, it's gone down and then straight through the
Mm,
floor and burning through credit cards and what have you. We
yeah.
all know that it's not sustainable, but this way you can have that income for the
Yeah.
work that you've done. And if it is, you do fall on hard times between a project, at least you have something to sustain you
Yeah.
that is an investment.
Yes.
And it's based on something that you've worked on.
Yep.
I think a lot of people are asking like, okay, well, how do you protect your IP? And on the site, you got to remember that you have full autonomy of
Mhm.
your project. Your
Mhm.
project is your project if you
Mhm.
choose to bring a project onto the site.
Yeah.
Meaning that if you don't want to show exactly all your cards, if you're afraid that somebody's going to come on and
Oh yeah,
steal
you
your
keep it
idea,
private.
you
Yeah.
exactly, you can
Yeah.
keep it private and you can just have a log line and see and gain interest that way.
And
And you can just be, yeah, sorry, I'll let you
no,
go.
no, no, really quick, I just want to say that that's another thing. You can keep your project private and you could send it to filmmakers that you want to, work on your project. So no one has to take your idea. If you're really nervous about that, you can do that. But I really quick, I had a question from Milo I wanted to answer because I thought it was a really good question. And he said, um, he was asking, what about the people with our community Greenlight who don't win the funding? And that's a really good
Hmm.
question. Here's the
Hmm.
thing. Let's say we do our rounds and the first person gets 300,000 votes and second place gets 220. Like, okay, even if you're in fourth place with 170. Here's the thing. You had 170,000 people even just vote for your project. Now you go back to those same people and you say, hey, we didn't win the funding, but I'm kicking off my WeFunder equity campaign for this movie. and you need $40 to come in as an investor. If you really love the project and still want to see it, you could invest. That's one avenue. Here's another thing that we know for sure. If you build it, they'll come. So what I mean by that is that when we all get on this platform and we're working and we have the funding to get these things going, and these distribution companies are seeing the interest in all of these projects, they're going to come. Don't just think of the big dogs. Don't just think of Netflix and Hulu. There's a lot of smaller distribution companies all over the world. And if you have all these people voting for your project because it's something that they want to see, and you didn't win the funding in this round with us, there's a lot of other ways to still get the project done. Now, even if you didn't win the funding, now you've got so much attention on your project that you could submit
Hmm.
it to places and get a distribution deal. You could start a WeFunder campaign. You could do a lot of different things that will still help push your project to creation. So I wanted to make sure I answered. I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you, Patrick, on the
Oh,
private
no, no, no.
public thing.
There's a lot of questions coming in.
I know. I'm trying
I
to.
see
Yeah.
even one.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna jump in now. I see
Yeah.
one about unions,
Uh,
because that's coming up a lot. How
oh
do
yeah.
unions work on this? And really, this is up to the person who is bringing the project on. So because Share is going to be an international community, if you're in Canada and you're doing a project in Canada, the unions really would not apply to your
Hmm.
project.
Right.
But if a lot of people that work in Hollywood are in unions and want to support their unions, want to pay into their unions so they can get their medical benefits, and that is completely, absolutely the right thing and understood. So if you are a pro-union project creator, you should have your union show or movie on
Yeah.
Share and apply those fees. Like if you are doing a movie in Los Angeles and you are going to hire SAG actors, you absolutely should be
Yeah.
paying those union rates, and that should be applied to your budget.
Yep. Absolutely. And as an independent filmmaker myself, it's up to you. If you're gonna have actors that you're hiring actors who are SAG, then you need to make your project a SAG AFTRA, and if
Mhm.
not, it's a non-union project. So it's really up to you.
It's
So
up to the creators, yes. And
yeah.
we encourage you, if you are filming in the United States, to be hiring union.
Yes. And I have another question come through from Miss Linda Evans. What type of support does Share provide with distribution? Here we go. So, um, one of the things that we did, I'm going to tell a quick story because I don't want to but I had a horror movie, low budget, shot it in 2018. Loved the cast and crew, was super excited about it. We finished post production end of 2019. Early 2020, we got a distributor. We thought we were going to take it to smaller theaters. COVID hit, could not do anything, have not made any money with the project. It's really sad. Basically, at that time, all the big movies went to the streamers because of COVID. So the little people that, maybe had an opportunity before didn't have it. So we tried to go to YouTube and put it on YouTube, but you got to monetize. You got to build up that monetization. You got to get the subscribers. And so one of the things that we said is that, one, it's your IP. Your film does not, we do not own your project when you're done. As a filmmaker, I love freedom. So when you're done, you have the freedom to take your project wherever, you could get the most success, and we support that. We're excited about it. But if you do not have that opportunity, if you do not have anything else going on with your project, we do have our Share channel here on YouTube that we would love to get shorts and music videos and a lot of content going, because it pushes the algorithm and more advertising dollars and stuff like that, can help you if there's nowhere else to go, so that you don't have to work to that type of monetization. You can actually put it there. We're also in talks with Vizio. We've been talking with them about having a Share channel built into all of their televisions, and with some of that advertising dollars. So we are talking to people, and hopefully, like a dream that we've talked about internally, Patrick, is having something called like a Share showcase in the future,
Mhm.
which is similar to like the TV upfronts, and we invite these distributors to come and see all the amazing talent we have on the platform, and hopefully secure a lot of distribution deals that way too.
And also just to kind of piggyback on that, Aaron, is we are still starting. Like
Yeah.
we are still, we're building this
Yeah.
app, like literally like putting in the buttons, with
Totally.
the tech team. So, that's why we're doing this right now. I see a
Yeah.
few people are like, hey, by the way, Canada has unions too. And I was specifically talking about SAG, WGA, and IATSE.
Oh
So
yeah.
thank you for letting me know that. I wasn't aware of the Canadian union system, but again, same thing. But to kind of again piggyback on what you're saying,
Yeah.
which I'm totally losing my train of thought because I'm like, there's so many
No, no, it
questions
was
while I'm reading
distribution.
questions, and
It was
but
distribution.
about distribution
Yeah.
is we're still reaching out
Yeah.
to talk to distribution with actual studios and distributors.
Yep.
I have some meetings, some pretty big meetings. I can't say with who,
Yeah.
with a major studio that does distribution that is interested in share.
Yeah.
So we're just not at that point yet where sometimes we can answer some of these questions. We can answer it to the best, but distribution is obviously an essential part of this.
Yes.
Because we know, like, if you can't do distribution, then what's the point? How do you get people to see your product? And again, like, because everybody can bring their products, and the products could be a wide range of things. Even if you're like, you want to create a YouTube series, you can
Mm-hmm.
put that on share. Or
Mm-hmm.
versus you want to put a full motion picture, feature length movie together, you can put that on share. It really is going to be, the platform is for everybody. That
Yeah.
is the point, as long as you are a creative and want to be part of the creative process.
Yeah. And I see Chad Kazir. I hope I pronounced that right. Kazir. Can you give a high level comparative description? I think like when we've been in meetings before, Patrick, it's like, LinkedIn meets IMDb meets Mandy meets Instagram. If you think about all that, the social aspect of it is like Instagram. Connect directly with filmmakers. Screw the gatekeepers. Like you guys, and I don't mean to, sound cheesy, but this is a movement. This is a revolution. It's like we really do
Hmm.
have to get our shit together as a community and say to ourselves, what's changing? Nothing. Who's
Right.
changing it? Nobody. Okay, so we created a platform where like not only can you connect with other creative, excuse me, you could, reach out to them. Hey, I don't have money. I got this sick ass idea. You know, I'm
Hmm.
I'm 19. I don't have a lot of experience. I'm a skateboarder. I live in Ireland, but I got a fucking kick ass idea. I need someone, dude, I got this. Let's go. It's all about that type of filmmaking. And then also for a lot of us that have a lot of experience and that have been working in industry that don't serve us either. It's about connecting with people, getting that funding, getting the funding to our other creatives so we could create our own freaking economy. That's what this is all about. Like, so whether it is,
Yeah.
the short film and whether you don't have a budget and you're like, I don't have any money, but I think this could be awesome. And let me tell you, in 2017, this is how Share was actually born. We had a horror movie. I kept pitching it. And I've worked for so many people. I have a lot of connections. I've been in big rooms, you guys. Everyone, oh, who's attached? Who's attached? Okay, fuck, no one's attached to this movie. Read the script.
Hmm. Yeah.
Literally, I got with a bunch of friends. One of my friends was a AD for Ava DuVernay. Another one is, work with Spike Lee. Another one was on all these shows. And we were like, fine, we'll all just get together and make it and split the profits at the end. Like, why don't, who cares? No one has money. And I was like, I'll feed you guys. I cook. I'm a pretty good chef. I'll feed you guys.
Yeah.
And we were all getting ready to do this. And in 2017, we were hit with these fires really bad here. I'm sure you remember. And production
Hmm.
stopped. We all had to say goodbye to that plan. And then when we tried to pick it up again, everyone was working again. So we left it alone. And then in 2023 with the strikes, I was like, we should get back to that model because we had friends willing to work. Just like I said, Christopher Nolan did with his very first film. I mean, look at Issa Rae and what she did
Hmm.
on YouTube with Awkward Black Girl that led to something. We also have to get back to this place where we're willing to kind of sacrifice a little bit. I mean, if you're just sitting at home and you're not working right now, why wouldn't you take a little bit less pay with back end to just try to get some things off the ground? So that's kind
Right.
of the message to
And
everyone.
and and you know, I'm gonna say this. I don't know if anybody remembers the Hair Club for Men commercials where the CEO came on. He's like, Not only am I running the company, I'm also a client." I'm
Right.
putting my projects on Share, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be launching a major one. I think we're going
Yes.
to reveal it at South by Southwest,
Yep.
of something that's been near and dear to my heart. But as somebody who's been an executive producer, and trust me, I can't tell you how many shows I've developed and have put through the ringer and get nothing out of the back end. And again, I am somebody who is in this system. I
Mm-hmm.
have the credits, I have the credibility, and I get it in front of somebody who, has an MBA in accounting, and I just don't see it, and it
Yeah.
breaks my heart every single time. And I'm like, why do and I know these projects are good because I share it with other executive producers, I share it
Mm-hmm.
with other creatives who go, these projects are fantastic.
Yeah.
How do we get these projects across the board? Because unfortunately, all our movies, all our TV show ideas, all our original ideas keep getting passed up for Devil Wears Prada 2. I mean, shit, they're making Chitty Chitty Bang Bang a remake. Like, that move, no one asked for that. There's only two people that are excited about making the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang release, and that is the person who greenlit it at the studio, and that's the producer that brought it to the studio. Those are
Yeah.
the only two people. I don't know anybody who's like, shit, what we need right now, man, I would totally go to the theaters
Right.
to see Chitty Chitty Bang Bang 2.
Oh yeah.
Fuck that shit.
And
And I'm
they're
just sorry,
redoing
I'm
an
getting passionate
officer.
now.
No, no, no. But seriously, they're redoing an officer and a gentleman, and they're redoing Ghost. And it's like we got all these amazing creatives
Like, and
around the
these movies
freaking
were great
world.
when they were originals.
Yes.
That's what gets lost on it. These movies were so good
Yep.
because we never saw anything like that before.
Absolutely. And
Sorry.
no, please. I used to go to the movies and see amazing things, and now I'm not even inspired. And even when I do go and the credits roll, I'm literally like, seriously, like, oh my gosh. And I hate that feeling because I know that we have so much to give in our community, and I know we have a lot of great ideas, even between us and our community, our small, you know what I mean? Well, big, but you know what I mean? Our community that we have. So I can we talk about how we're going to teach filmmakers to package their films? Yeah. Like Patrick said, this is we're just launching, but we're having all of these conversations, you guys. Like, we are talking about our share sessions where we educate people. We've been talking to companies that have, their own streamlining production uh, packages that already help with
Software.
budgets. Software. Thank
Software.
you. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
Yes, there's other, what's funny is that you say that is there's a lot of other industry makers, industry production workers that are also trying to create their own platforms in whatever capacity that they normally work in. So I know a great line producer who is like, I'm going to try to create software that makes it easy to put movie budgets together, or help you put a film together on all those logistic things that makes people head explode. Because I think and he's like, hey, maybe we can partner with Share. So
Yeah.
the door's open. And
Hmm.
again, we're not trying to create this company just to create a company. We're trying to service the entertainment industry. And again, I wouldn't have joined this if I didn't believe in it from the get-go.
Yeah. And
So it's
yeah. And since you posted to echo what you just said, I'm like terrible on LinkedIn. So apologies if anyone has ever reached out. I'm getting better. But after Patrick posted, it was really fascinating because I went to check one day and I literally had like over 30 messages from other, industry professionals, part of our community, who also have businesses that are trying to do, something to help all of us out. And it's interesting. One of Patrick's friends, or someone Patrick knew, reached out to him, who's a CEO and founder of a company, and said, my people are telling me I need to talk to this company Share. And, you know, I saw you post about it. Like, can you set up a meeting with them? Because there are a lot of people that are eager to work with us. And we're super excited about it because we can't do it all. Like, we need the whole community to come together. And so,
yeah.
when we talk about these other platforms and what they're bringing to the table, I want to get to a question about AI because that is also something that we have had a lot of feedback about and a lot of questions about.
Mhm.
And I want to make sure we're very clear in that the AI tools, first of all, AI is not the future, it is actually right now. And so we can't run away from it. But I want to make very clear that, our whole team agrees on this, is that we do not believe in AI ever replacing creatives, ever. What we
Mhm.
do think about when it comes to AI and some of the tools that we like to offer are just, streamlining, like organizational, like if there's there might be someone in, a very small, small town, excuse me, who doesn't have access to any film crew, and they might need help with their log line. They might need help, but people could do this on ChatGPT. So this isn't something that, but just put it like this so you guys know, any AI tools that we introduce are only there to support filmmakers, never to replace. We do not want an AI, we're offering this new tool where it can edit your movie. Like, screw that. We're never going to do that. We always want real eyes, real hands, real talent, and real people behind our projects. Like everything that we're
100%.
doing. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, right? Like every great movement that ever happened, it's because of the people. And we're moving towards this technology, and even social media has kind of disconnected a lot of us, but really there's power in numbers. And I will always believe that the, actual people, putting their hands in there and getting dirty, and the actual idea that comes from a brain will always beat out any type of computer AI generated anything. And so we're here for the community. So we will
Right.
implement some of those tools, but it will never be to replace. And I just want to make sure I said it here. This will live on YouTube forever. So you guys will know this ain't no
They're
bullshit.
going to be
Like, this
using
is
this
what it is.
clip over and over again.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
yeah.
you know, here an important thing to say is right now we all know this industry is going through a transition.
Yeah.
It is and we have not as creatives been around to see the industry transition.
Right.
It's been doing this for all the last century. It just didn't do it while we were working in it. Like it when silent films went to talking films, when
Right.
radio went to television, these
Mm-hmm.
disruptions happen. And right now we're kind of in this like television, film to internet world. But it's during this disruption, during the chaos, that we have the opportunity.
Right.
And we can absolutely say, I think, in consensus, that this system no longer works. Before streaming came on, the entertainment industry worked like it was like a Picasso painting. It was just
Yeah.
pieces
Totally.
that over time got pieced together, and it didn't look pretty, but it worked, and it
Right.
somehow worked. And to smash, and when Netflix came in and smashed the model,
Oh gosh.
and then the
Woo.
pandemic obviously injected this steroid where everybody had to catch up to this model, only to
Mm-hmm.
find out that the model didn't work.
Right.
And then and then who are the people that actually suffer from this? It's not the
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's not the executives that are suffering from that. It's the
Oh,
actual
yeah.
creatives. And we had this system that worked so perfectly fine. But so it's like, okay, well, if the system got blown up and the system's not working for everybody anymore, let's reinvent the system. And the time to do that is now. It's not going to
Hell
be
yeah.
5 years from now. And who's to say that Netflix is still going to be on top 5 years from now? It's like you got to beat them at their own game. This is a way to get that leverage back and put
Yeah.
it back in the hands where it belongs. And you know what the thing is? This happened to the music industry 20 years ago. I get a lot of talk
Napster.
of
Yep.
people who work in the music industry going, what's happening to TV and film, we already went through back with Napster. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, shit, I kind of contributed to that,
Me
as
too.
in my college dorm. But
Shh.
it's happened before, and the people who
Yeah.
recognize the patterns are seeing it. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, this is our chance to literally jump in, and we're jumping in early. The fact that I was able to find you was a
No, I
divine
found.
connection to a
Yeah.
degree. You
No,
found me,
I
but
stalked you and
I blew
found
you
you.
off, but then I found you. I was like,
Yeah.
you know what, man, I'll give it another chance.
But
So
here's the thing.
um
This is what's so interesting about what you're saying is like, you know, yes, the time is now because it's not going to get any better. And we've had some people, although I started off with this town hall saying that we had a lot of people come through with, like, I mean, amazing support. That's what's been dope, is that, like, so many people. And mind you, we didn't announce to the world that our site was live because we're in beta, we're testing it. And
Mhm.
we still got almost 200 people signing up. And we're like, okay, stop signing up. We're testing. We didn't mean for anybody to know about it, but okay. And then I've been personally messaging people and saying to them, hey, thank you for signing up. You're joining our community, and you're joining us at a time where we're testing things in our beta. Please be patient. And every person has, like, responded and been like, no problem, we're here for it, we're ready for the movement. So that's been really beautiful. But we have had some people be skeptical and thinking
Mhm.
that we're trying to get your money. And so here's the thing, like, it's free to join. So just join, just to support the community. Let's just freaking
Yes.
join, because even if we don't get a lot of pro subscribers yet, which we really do hope we can, so that we could kick off community Greenlight, and also too that people can get their projects, off the ground. People can start working. But even if that
And it's like,
isn't
what do
that,
you got to lose? I
what do
mean,
you?
look, so
Yeah,
many of us are
yeah,
in our living rooms,
yeah,
literally.
and
Just waiting for those projects to come in, or waiting for our agents to call,
yeah,
or our business connections, but those phones are not ringing. The
no,
idea how we survive this is proactivity. And I think a lot of us are just saying, like, you know what? Why don't I get my project made? My project is good.
yeah,
My project should see. Look, creators want to create, whether we're creating a small film or we're doing a big budget thing,
yeah,
and this is the chance to put everything on there. And when you create a profile, you could put multiple projects on there. If you have a film, you have a short film, you have an
oh yeah,
animation, you
yeah,
can put multiple projects on there. Your
mm-hmm,
profile is you. And the idea is that it's not just like, new creatives who are just graduated film school that are coming on to share, that it's like actually us in the community who have established ourselves. And the
right,
idea is, imagine, because look, it's already happening on social media, on YouTube. You got these, like, somebody, a woman doing makeup tutorials in Des Moines, Iowa, is pulling in better ratings than Good Morning America. And that's why Good Morning America, why those anchors are getting their 30 million annual salaries slashed. But
yep,
imagine if the best of the best filmmakers and creatives put their material that they want to put on this platform and it gets made. How is that going to compare to the creators in the internet world that are just kind of like putting their stuff together, or doing pranks, or pratfalls, and the material that's just content? But what if we actually were able to put the best of the best? That cream is going to rise to the top. And then if that cream rises to the top, all ships rise. And the idea is, you have some of the best shit of film and television
yep,
being coming out of the share program. It's going to be good that the other corporations or the other part of the industry cannot ignore it. And
oh
that actually,
yeah,
Steve Martin has a great quote, and I love it. It's like, I would, be so good they can't ignore you. And that's another thing that I love to take to heart. And I believe that's something that we on share can actually go forward. And again, like you say, Aaron, it's going to take the community. Like, it's like, if we are all joining in and we decided that we're not going to be adversarial towards each other, and that we are actually going to join each other and contribute and share those resources, because
mm-hmm,
that's, it's like the ones from above, they have everybody fighting below. And I shouldn't, and Hollywood was so designed to be like, your misstep is my gain. And that's
yes,
how it's been for so many years. And it
yeah,
shouldn't be that way, because we all share the same passion. We
yeah,
all love what we do. And it's like funny, because you go to film school, and in film school, or communication school, if you go, you have everybody who's like, I love your project. And you're so supportive of everybody's project. And then you enter the real world, and it's like, this kid's good. Fuck him, because I don't want him to take my job.
yeah. It
And
was
and it
designed
shouldn't
that
be
way.
that way. It
But it was
shouldn't be that way.
designed. It was designed that way. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
it's like this whole system. Like, the thing that drives me crazy about Hollywood is all these rules. It's like, well, I had a call with someone and I was telling her about Share, and she works on like all these film festival panels and stuff. And she's just like, so you're telling people that they can make $1 million off of a short film? And I was like, no, I'm telling them they should be able to monetize it because it's still their work. So if they have
Hmm.
4 short films on Share that are, making $800 a month, that's still 3,200 they're making right now. They ain't making
Yes.
nothing. So like, why are we? But well, your calling card. I mean, your short film is supposed to be your calling card. It's not supposed to be something you make money. Who made that rule? Because now we see all
Right.
these content creators making all this money. So who made that rule, and why are we following it? Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, we need to eat. I need to
And we're
eat.
now in this new, because we're in this transition, there are no rules. And
No.
that's the
Well,
thing. It's like you
yeah.
have the old system trying to
Yep.
hold on to these rules that are not laws, and
Yep.
my mom used to say, you can't break a law, but you can bend a rule. And
Yep.
who's to say a film needs to be a short film? Who's to
Yep.
say like a short film is not a film?
Yeah.
Or that a film has to be 90 minutes or 2 hours, or
Oh,
it has to be horizontal and not vertical. Like these rules don't exist anymore because it's a free for all. And and the only reason is we're trying to shove like these square pegs in this round hole of
yeah.
a system that's already been created. But let the creatives free. Let them.
Oh,
Who knows? There might be a new type of genre that gets completely created that we've been ignoring this whole
for
time.
well, think
I
about
may
it.
have that
Netflix did
genre,
it.
but
I was gonna say that sounds like a
you'll have to find
tease.
out at South by Southwest.
That sounds like a tease, but think about it though. Netflix actually did that, and I'm gonna, when they came in, they started off with serving the customer the DVDs and everything, but then once they started doing their scripted, they gave you the whole show. And then, I
Mhm.
mean, literally, you got to watch. I mean, it created a bunch of us couch potatoes, but they did something that no one ever really did before, And even when they went to Blockbuster about the whole DVD thing, it was like, oh, that will never work. I mean, and they put that out of business. So it's all about, us showing up. I got a lot of questions in here too that's asking, like, how do we help build? One of the things everyone could do that's free is just please subscribe to our channel on YouTube and
Mhm.
and give us a like all of this, subscribe to the channel. I mean, it's really, really important because the moment that we can monetize even short projects, I mean, we all get paid, which is great because I have projects too. I'll be one of those people, you guys, and I will be funding my own projects. So as I grow, I want to be able to do that too. I will not be submitting myself to any of the campaigns on my own platform. But the way that we do this is that we show up. And it's
Mhm.
really that. Like right now, if you don't, if you're not ready to participate, it doesn't matter. Just join the Share platform. We're launching on February 24th. Join for
Mhm.
free, create a
And
profile,
that's
and
in 11 days. For I know
11
a
days.
lot of producers can't do, a lot of TV folk and film folk can't do math, but that's 11 days. It's less than 2 weeks.
Yes, and be patient with us because we're gonna,
Yes.
like I said, we did have a friends and family round, and we were blessed to, have our friends and colleagues come in with a little bit of money to help us get to this place. But we're still to get to the platform that we envision. We are going to be doing a We Funder campaign too soon, but we want to, launch the platform and get that going. But that is going to give people, because I saw someone else ask, how do we invest? We've had like 3 people.
Mhm.
We are going to give filmmakers an opportunity to own a piece of the company too, because I don't know anybody
Yes.
who owns a piece of A24 or anything, but as for as little as like $200, we're going to be opening
Yeah.
that up so that you guys can help us build this. Because the moment we get to that level and we could really get the developers and we could really, get the tech we need to and the hire the most amazing people to streamline our production process and to, really start to invest, it's go time.
Mhm.
Like that, that's
Yes.
all we've been trying. And we actually had someone come to us last year and offer us a big check, but they wanted to take the company. And we were like, hell no, like this is not what we did this for. So we've been just continuing on our own path to try to make something happen. And we understand that people are hurting though. So the only thing we say is that if it's not the time for you to pay 9.99 a month, or even when we launch our crowdfunding, our equity campaign, still just join, support, just show up. That's really what we
Mhm.
need right now, is because when we all come to
And
one
tell your
place,
friends and
yes,
tell,
yes,
I know everybody in the entertainment industry knows somebody who's out of work. Like, that's not going to be hard to find. Actually, it's
yes,
probably going to be hard to find somebody who is working.
yeah.
But this is the
Totally.
this is
Like
this
six
is the
people.
chance. And again, like, what's so cool about this project, and yeah, I have had a few naysayers, but to hear also, like, big celebrities happen to be reaching out too
Oh
about this
yeah.
platform.
Yep.
Big movie producers and film and television producers
Mm-hmm.
are asking about this platform. It's
Yep.
not just, like, again, like a bunch of filmmakers that just poured out of USC that are putting this together. This is actually can be revolutionary to the industry, and it really is a potential to grow. We just have to grow as a community, and it's not growing as a business, it's growing as a community, and that's,
Yeah.
I think, is the word that we have to use more and more. This is for everybody, and like you say, Aaron, like, you can actually invest in this company too. It's not
Yeah.
like when Netflix was starting, it wasn't like, how do I get a piece of Netflix? Like, there's no IPO you have to wait for. If you want to be a part of, if you love Share and you love this idea, then you can
Yeah.
jump on board and be a part of it too.
Oh yeah, you can own a piece of the company that will revolutionize. Like I'm claiming it because the response we've been getting is freaking phenomenal. And I love that. And I thank you guys for that because we have been busting our butts. I have a full-time job. I get off that job. I have kids and then I go to work. Sometimes I'm not going to bed until 1 in the morning. We're up because our developers are in different countries. And it's been a lot of hard work that we've all been putting in, but that's
Mhm.
because we know this can work and we know it's necessary right now. So,
And it's been
um,
proven to work on
oh,
multiple films.
yeah. Yeah. I want everyone to, check out Sing Sing. Go look and see what they did. 3 Oscar nominations, and they did the model that we've been talking about. And I
Hmm.
love them for that. There's no like, I heard someone like one of my friends was like, "Did you hear they did that? Are you scared?" Oh my gosh. I'm like, "No. They're doing it on their productions. That's awesome. Like we're doing it on a global scale." And we really want to serve I definitely know that there might be bigger budgets and stuff coming in, but I really feel like, and we welcome everybody, you know what I mean, but I really feel like a lot of the independent artists is like, and filmmakers, this is our time right now. We can create our
Hmm.
own economy, you guys. Like we don't, and that's why we promise to give money back, because it's like,
and
what do
and
we
and
look
it's
like coming?
already
Yeah, go
and it
ahead.
happened and it happened in the music industry where
Mm-hmm.
music companies started, basically the big major music companies broke down and really started focusing on independent artists.
Oh, speaking of
And
that, Jay Z just announced 2 weeks ago. Remember, I texted you the article with Rock Nation. They're launching their first equity platform.
if
Where
he
the
doesn't end
artists,
up in
musicians.
jail,
Yeah,
he's with too
Tucker.
soon. Sorry, it's Diddy's watching somehow
I'm
too.
just
Not today, Diddy.
okay. Oh, so wait, it's a glitch. It froze. I'm sorry. What'd you say? No, wait.
I shouldn't have frozen on that line though.
No. No, but seriously though, they're gonna be doing that too. And it's like it was like huge news all over because it's the first in history, like where they're sharing the equity. And like, where the hell has this been? I can't believe no one even thought of this before. That's the
All right.
craziest thing about all of this. It's like, how
I
come
want
no
to
one
I want
thought
to
of this
talk
before?
to yeah, I want to talk to Sticks and Jones, who's like, there's so many questions unanswered.
I'm
We've been
sorry,
answering
Sticks and
questions the whole
Jones.
time.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to all of them, and we're also trying to, let's
Yeah, there's
see.
there's
Sticks and Jones, you're 100% correct. That's Jay. Let's get to some more questions. Once again, it proves creative is king. All the funding and everything won't mean anything if the project is no good. Titan Matt. That's true, but that's very, that's, everyone has a different perspective on what good is. At the end of the day, like we can't say, we're definitely, we don't want hate speech. We don't want to, have that type of stuff on our platform, but we want to give opportunities. That's really what we're doing. So, like, today, how many movies have you gone to the theater that are shit? You can't, you know what I mean? And some of those
Everything's
are,
shit today.
yeah. So those aren't
I
good
haven't seen the
either.
last movie. I actually had a conversation earlier today about this subject. I was like, the last movie I saw that I walked out going, wow, that moved me was Coda. And how many years ago was?
When I went to the movie theater, and I was very, very young, but I went to see The Color Purple with my mom and sisters, and I was blown away. I saw Goodwill Hunting in the theater. I saw Shawshank Redemption. I saw Boomerang, which is like one of my favorite. Eddie Murphy is like my hero. But I remember walking out of theaters and like talking about it and telling everyone. And it was like, it was incredible. And you don't have that anymore. And that's because the gatekeepers, they're banking on the bottom line. And so what we're saying is, you know, let the fans decide what they want to see. And like you alluded to earlier, like, distribution models with like Angel Studios, and you know, um they're doing something similar where they are, greenlighting projects that their community votes on too. So we're actually taking the power back. And listen, by 2030, Hollywood is I mean, set to make like 162 billion, and like the
Mhm.
independent market is what, 73 billion. It's like, you guys, the money is out here, it's floating all around us. It's like we just have to strategize and come up with a plan of how do we access it, how do we get this going. That's what we want to do with Share Community Greenlight. I would love to get, like, my dream and what I have on my vision board, and yes, I'm one of those people, um is 5 million paid subscribers globally, because it's $50 million a month. That's $600 million a freaking year. And I'm not in this to become some big tech, person with all this helicopters and yachts and stuff. It would be nice, a yacht, but we are
No, I'm not
promising to
bringing
put
any
that back.
masculine energy.
Nah, I'm like, to me, at the end of the day, what does it matter if we're
Kidding.
not able to see other creative stuff? Our industry is dead. Like, what
Hmm.
does that matter? So like, that's why we came up with the idea of like, really, our co-founder Leo said, we got to give money back. We got to give money back. And then we just kept like, how? But how do we do it? What do we do? And then it was like, oh, we just invest in projects. But we can't choose, because then we'll be just like the damn studio. We need to
Hmm.
let people do it themselves. And if we have all these people on the platform and we're able to do this, it's more funding, more rounds. Instead of, 4 movies every quarter, we could do 5, or I'm sorry, 10 movies every quarter. Just think, with that type of budget, we could become like a studio system ourselves, and we just democratize it, and we make sure we, as the owners of this company, especially with the We Funder campaign,
Hmm.
filmmakers, we are the ones who own this company. It's not, we
Yes.
don't have board members that are on, some VC telling us what to do. That's why we decided to do a We Funder campaign too, because as we've been pitching and talking to people, they don't really get it. And it's like, this is, why are we doing what Legion M Films did and Angel Studios? Why are we waiting for someone to give us money? Why aren't we going to our people? And Patrick, I remember you said to me early on, you're like, well, Erin, people don't have fucking money. You're like, remember we were talking, you're like, Erin, it's really
Yeah.
hard. Like, people don't have money. And I was like, very true. So we thought about We Funder, and we're like, okay, to get to 1 mil, we need 5,000 people to invest 200K. I mean, $200. Sorry. And that way, now we're off to the races, and if we raise even more than that, we could kick off a community greenlight initiative sooner than, meeting,
Hmm.
that. So we have a lot of things coming up, and we definitely are excited about it. And like I said, like we keep echoing throughout this whole conversation, it really is up to the community. We built it, we've done the work, and so, we want to see the change. If we all show up, we feel, great. um, and Hawthorne, why not give more than 25% back? Well, this is the thing. The 25% that we, with, as we grow our company, especially globally in different places, there are operational costs. There are, people we have to hire. And I mean, we have friends, just by the way, in South America that are waiting for this. I used to live in Mexico. I have friends in Mexico City. I have friends in Angola. I lived in Toronto, Canada, which is my favorite city
Hmm.
in the world. We have producers there. We have producers in London. We have people all over the world. And for us to be able to pay for this tech, maintenance, legal, all this, it is a lot. It is a
I
lot.
actually see a great question,
Sure.
which is like, will Share have an open formula calculator? How do the
Oh,
profits and split work? I think that's
yes.
a really important question.
Very good question. We do. Our developers have already created a backend points calculator. And so when you join Share and you create your project, when you enter the crew that you need, every time that you enter that role, you're going to put the amount of points on the back end, the equity that you like to give to that role. And it's always negotiable. You're just gonna, put on what you want, and someone might submit and say, "I like this, but could I get more?" Or if you're not paying this, or it's up to the creator to actually figure that out. The back end points calculator. Um, or I'm sorry, the equity, but we do have that tool built in already, and we're just going to keep perfecting it and perfecting it. And another thing that I want to address, since we're talking about this, before we even got started with Share, we went to our legal team. Um, One of our co-founders, Rachel, introduced us to Oric Law. I don't know if anyone knows, but really big firm, global firm. They have a tech division. They've been amazing. They've been working with us, and we had meetings with them, and the first thing we said is this even possible? This is our idea. We have a tech, this is a tech startup. How could we, make this work? We want to give people an opportunity to have back-end points. We want to pay people. Is this possible? They did a deep dive. They looked into other tech companies, and they, one, let us know there's not anything really like Share out there. So that was pretty cool. We were like, we could be a unicorn, which is awesome. But one of the things they told us is that we are not reinventing the wheel. Companies like Upwork and Fiverr are already doing something like this, where they pay out, like there's no money exchange between the freelancer on Upwork and Fiverr and the person hiring them. They can't do it. They would be, liable for that. And the same thing would happen with us. So similar to a production now, if you get the funding, we would work with a company like entertainment partners or another payroll company where we would put that money
Yeah.
there, and they would be paying out. Nobody is going to exchange money outside of our platform, because we can't give a project creator, "Oh, I raised all this money, we did this equity," and then we give them the money and they skip town and go to Australia. We have to be the ones to make sure the payments go through. We set it up already. We have, all of this technology is already built into our platform. So when you get that payment, let's say we make the movie and you sell it to Hulu and the check comes through, and you were, sound mixer on the project, you'll get an email. "Hey, Carl, your project so and so just sold. Check your account," and then you could transfer it to your bank. But everything has to come through Share, because we cannot be
Yeah.
responsible for people taking off and scamming people or doing any of that. So we had our legal team look into all of that, and before we even took any steps forward, like how can we make this happen without anyone being taken advantage of, and making sure that we take care of the filmmakers. And so, yeah.
And big shout out to our Share colleagues who are
Yes.
actually in the
Chat.
question
Yeah.
section in the live chat, who are trying to answer questions for everybody in real time, because there are a lot of questions, and there are very specific questions that I see that people are really kind of getting into, and one that keeps coming up is, I know we're in beta and I shouldn't do this, but I feel like if you guys want to check it out, you can at www.theshareplatform.com.
Hmm.
um I would say somebody wants to write that in the little, in that platform, so you can copy and paste, but you
Yeah.
have the opportunity to take a look at it. You're like, I don't know, I have to see it. You can see it. You can
Yeah.
play around with it. You
Yeah.
can create a profile on it.
Yeah.
We don't want to get everybody there,
Not
but
yet.
again, what I said before, we know, like, there's going to be a lot of issues that come up. It's not perfect. No
Yeah.
company was ever perfect when it started,
Yeah.
but we are doing these lives as a chance to reach out to the actual film and television professional community to
Yeah.
get that feedback, so we can improve this site, so it can be as close to perfection as we can possibly make it. So
Yeah.
again, we're not trying to hit that home run. Are we going are there are there going to be things that are going to be overlooked like any production? Yes. There's going to
Yeah.
be a couple things that we can fix and we can improve upon. But, the idea is there, the structure is there. Will it get better? Yes, it absolutely will,
Oh yeah.
but it only gets better with your help and
Yeah.
your input. If you believe in share, if you believe in changing the system, then yes, we're only going to get better from here. So, again, like if it's like you hear one question, you're like, "Ugh, they didn't really have the answer to that. That's not the answer that I wanted to hear." Well, then we're going to take that and we're going to internalize it and we're going to talk and we're gonna be like, wow, that person brought up a really good point. How
Yeah.
do we improve upon this? So
Yeah.
again, it, it, it's to get us on first base, maybe a grounder to get us on second.
Yes.
We want to improve, and we're
Yeah.
we're we're coming out of the station now, and so that's why we're going to keep going and we're going to keep doing these lives. And I think the fact that this is a community and we're starting from a community and we're starting with a live before we even launch the platform, we're going to always be tuning in, we're always going to be accessible, we're always going to be looking for feedback and how
Hmm.
ways to get better. And like Erin said, for the people that are on the beta site right now, they're actually talking to Erin, they're like, this is great, the
Yeah.
feedback has been phenomenal, the
Yeah.
feedback has been overwhelming.
Yeah.
But there are still, yeah, are there still areas to improve? Absolutely. But if you guys are also going to be investors, you're going to be participants, you're going to be users, then yeah, we're going to welcome all of this.
Hmm. Hmm. And there's more tools as we go, just with anything. Like if you go back and look at like Airbnb's first site, go look at their first site. Like it always evolves. And so the thing that we just, want to tell everyone is that we're here. We built it, come to the party because everyone's welcome. We have a very strong community. And here's the thing.
Hmm.
We have the most precious commodity, I believe. It's like we
Yeah.
have the ideas. It's our shit.
I see actually a
Excuse my
great
language.
question, if you don't mind, just because I want to just start jumping in
Yeah,
and really
yeah,
start
no.
answering
Keep
this
going.
question, which
Yeah.
is how is ownership and decision making powers be distributed amongst the contributors? Well, that's going to be up to the person who owns the project.
Yeah.
So, those deals are being made by the ownership. Again, you have the autonomy. So if you want to, you can get a great director, but you can't pay him, and you're like, well, I'll offer you 20%. You can deals, but the idea is that everybody does get a stake. You have control over the percentage that you are going to offer your community. So if you want to give, the gaffers like 1 or 2%, or if you want to give everybody the exact same amount
It's
of
up to you.
percentage of the back end, it's up to you.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a question too from Jared Scharfetter. Is there a cap on the number of projects you can apply for? No, not. This is the thing. You can't participate in the profit sharing aspect of share unless you become a pro member, which is $9.99. You could go and see what projects are there. You could see what's going on. Because maybe there's nothing in your community and maybe you're not ready yet, but you could do all that for free. But the moment that you do want to submit yourself to a project, it is $9.99 and it's unlimited. You could find a project anywhere. I mean, if you know that you're traveling to Hawaii for a couple weeks and you want to shoot,
Mhm.
you want to see what's going on while you're there, like you could put that in your zip code and see what projects, or let someone know you're going to be there. Or if you're a project creator and you're traveling, you could say, I have a project, I'm going to be in Italy this summer, and you could find crew members there. And that is all unlimited. You work as much as your schedule allows you to work, but you do have to become a pro member at $9.99 to participate in that.
And I see another question, which I think is a great question for you, Erin, which is like, what guarantees that the system will work? Like, how do I know that people are going to honor their share backend in the end? Like, how do I know that I'm not going to get money and run away from these projects?
Because that's what I addressed before. It comes through us.
Hmm.
Everything has
Yeah.
to come through us. So when you get your budget and your funding, it has to come through the share platform, which would be like an entertainment partners. We're actually talking to a couple of companies right now who are very reputable, who have this experience, and who do, do payrolls for lots of productions. And this is kind of how it works. It's like when I did my movie, we had 250K. I had to sign that whole check over to entertainment partners. And what they did is every week they submitted a check to the crew at the end of, the work week for the, production. They took care of that. The same thing has
Mhm.
to happen here because we cannot allow anyone to take money and skip town. Like that would be,
Mhm.
no. We want to protect people, excuse me, from being scammed at every level. We also want to make sure people are safe. So, like, one of the things we say is that, when you do get your green light and your project is off to the races, someone from our share team will do like your first production meeting, which will be like a Zoom, and all these people can
Mhm.
come together and talk. And we ask you, if you're going to meet people outside the platform, meet them in a public place. Like, you know, everything that we're doing is for you, the filmmaker, and it's making sure that you don't get scammed. No one takes off those back end points. The legalities of that's built in too. So when you sign on to the project and everything is, solidified, that is there. So when that money comes through, those checks and that percentage of what you're going to
Yeah.
get comes through us, and it goes to your account
And
on
you're
share.
working with sorry, not you. We are working
Yeah.
with the SEC. We're
Oh yeah.
playing by the rules, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
There's a
Yeah, yeah.
lot of financial bureaucratic red tape that is being the T's are being crossed and the I's are being dotted, just to make sure that, everything is legit and by the book.
Oh yeah, and because one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to do equity crowdfunding. Like we wanted to
Yeah.
offer that. But there's a lot of things you got to do with the SEC. So we already did our whole round with the SEC for our We Funder campaign. It's like, well, how do we do that directly on our platform? That is a whole nother thing. So that may come in the future. You know what I mean? It's something we're planning for. We might even want to be our own channel one day. There's a lot of things we want to do, but we got to crawl before we walk. And so the first thing, the way that we, discussed internally that we think about is community. Let's bring the community together. Second is like funding. Like now that we bring everyone here, like how the hell do we help them? How do we get this off the ground? Okay, funding. How do we fund? Great. Let's start an initiative. Our motto is we grow, you grow. The more we grow,
Mhm.
the more you grow. And it's like, like I don't know if you guys are familiar with Patreon, but
Yeah.
they have that guy is an artist who created something. I actually admire him. He created something out of necessity because he saw it wasn't available for him. They got a $4.6 billion valuation right now. Another
Yeah.
startup company. I don't know how they contribute back to their artists, or their users, but we want to be very different in that space. Is that if we grow, when we grow to that, our thing is like we gotta become our own studio and fund it and just let people decide what they want to see. Step away, but just provide the funding.
I like this as somebody's like, as a pro member, I could be working on a show through a major studio not involved with Share. Can I still find and hire crew from Share? You can hire them onto your non-Share movie or production, but they won't participate in the Share backend. Like if you want
Mm-hmm.
the back end guarantee, your
Yeah.
project has to be done through Share.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's another thing. Like, we're not Staff Me Up, we're not Mandy. So productions can't come to our party, come to our platform and try to grab people off of our platform and not participate in profit sharing. The whole thing of what we're doing is to make sure you guys get paid on the back end. So productions need to get with it. It's working for big productions. We've seen it. It's out there. So we're changing something in this industry that is way overdue because everyone should be able to have these residuals. And I
Hmm.
remember seeing years ago, all the cast of Friends, they're getting $1 million per episode. And then when it went off the air, they're still making this with residuals. I'm like, well, what did the crew make? What do they make? Do you know what I mean? Like it's awesome. And don't get me wrong, I love the talent. Denzel is my one of my favorites, and I love me some Tom Hanks. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on any of these people because they're part of our community too. I'm talking
Hmm.
about the system that the industry, and how it's always looked at the rest of us, and the crew as less than. I mean, the whole term below the line fucking
Mhm.
sucks. That's a terrible term. Like above the line, below the line. Like it just sounds horrible. You know what I mean? And so when you think about it that way, we're gonna erase that line. That's what Share is doing. That
Yes.
line is gone. Everybody
We're racing the
participates.
line.
Yeah,
Yes. And we're no
absolutely.
longer creating a class system of production, which I think is what it is, what we've created. And unfortunately, much like the rest of the United States, there's no middle class anymore. It's just gone from the wealthy getting wealthier and the poor getting poorer. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, it's like the wealthy in this industry who are getting wealthier are not the people that love film and television, that they're tech bros. It's the people that shouldn't be making money. Like if it
Oh,
was one of those things where it's like, oh, that guy, like I'm okay with Steven Spielberg being rich, like he deserved it, but I have another problem with, the engineers at Netflix making a shitload of money, while the writers of Netflix shows are not barely making anything. That I do have a problem with,
hell yeah,
which I
because
think
they're
we can
getting
all
rich.
agree. We could all agree upon.
Yeah, they get rich off of our ideas. And that's
Right.
the that's like one of the things we thought about with Share. It's like, we become uber wealthy with the tech platform and we don't give anything back. Like how to the writers, to everybody who's actually building this. Like it's crazy to me. So I don't I don't have anything against wealth or anybody that is wealthy. Trust me. Again, if you see my vision board, that's not at all. I want to, be able to travel the world and do things too. Um, but it's really just saying that there's more than enough to go around. And so that's our philosophy. And then, someone else was asking a question about like the percentage that I saw it here and it went away, but it was like the percentage that people would get on Share.
Mhm.
And if you ask that question, I don't know if it was just, are you asking
I
as
think I
an
think the
investor?
question was more geared towards like what is shares percentage take like
Oh,
on
got it,
yeah,
got
I
it,
think
got it.
that was what it was more like.
Oh, okay, yeah. So like with the YouTube channel, it would be like a 50-50 split because YouTube takes 45%, and then we take 5%. So the creator for our YouTube channel, anything, so any creator would get like that 50%. And then as far as like once you make the project on the platform, let's say Patrick, you make a project and you have
Mhm.
it's amazing, your crew is great, and you sell it to Netflix for 3 million. Our cut would be like 15% because what we do in that regard is like all of the payments come through us, all the payroll comes through us. Like we have to we have to make sure everybody gets paid. So that's why we're keeping it really low compared to
And
other distributors and stuff because again, we want you guys to win. So yeah.
right. And we're again, we have ideas that are way further down the road. It really depends on how we get started. So like I know a lot of people are like, well, YouTube, that's technically Google, and it's another tech company running into it. But if this platform grows, it could become its own streaming service at one point where it's
Oh,
just nothing but
yes.
share projects that are actually on it. So now you can kind of see where imagine going to a streamer with all original products, from great filmmakers and creatives. Again, we're not there yet. We're just getting the plane down the runway. We're hitting ground balls, but all of a sudden the idea is if Cher becomes the Yankees, then we can actually do these creative things. The idea is that we build this and we stack onto it and we get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then of course, creatives have the priority in our world.
Yes, and I got another great question that just came in from Gray Jones. What about vendors who want to support the platform? I own a 48,000 clip driving plate library and would be happy to give huge discounts to Share filmmakers in exchange for backing points. That's awesome because this is something we've discussed too. And what we would like to call it is like a share marketplace.
Hmm.
This is something that will be rolling out later. We gotta like Patrick is saying, we gotta crawl before we walk, and we have a lot of ideas, but we have talked about that because there are a lot of vendors. That's the thing, you guys. There's so many resources all around us. Like we want to include in the marketplace vendors who are willing to give that for back end points on projects they love and the projects that they, sync with and have that type of synergy. But also locations, there's people right now with Airbnbs. There's people I've had several calls in the last month with people who just built studios in Detroit, in North Carolina. And we just partnered with Belize Global Media. They're amazing, and they want to
Hmm.
drive, people to Belize. And so it's really amazing that I want to be able to put that in our marketplace where it's either equipment and vendors and locations. So it's all about like exchanging that. Some projects will have a budget to pay vendors and pay
Hmm.
locations, but some
Yeah.
might not. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so it's
And you
all
can
about
have
that
rental
negotiation.
houses, yeah,
It,
saying like, I want to give your I'll give you equipment if you give me a shot of the back end. Because
yeah,
again, everybody shares in
yeah,
this. In
yep,
this model, everybody wins.
yep,
And that's what we mean. All ships rise
yep,
in this model. And it's not just like, again, like right now, we're in the survival mode where we're just kind of scrapping and everybody's just kind of scrapping for themselves, and rightfully so, because
yeah,
again, we have kids to feed, we got lights to keep on, we got food to put on the table. But to do this in a way where everybody can profit and win from it, again, you take that leverage away from the big studios and you make
yes,
it more independent. You make the creatives more autonomous, and then you give that power back. And then what
mm-hmm.
it does is eventually takes the power away from the Netflixes that are conglomerates right now. Netflix is doing so well because they own everything. And they
Gosh,
also are making deals now where they're saying, Netflix is saying, because people are becoming, and they understand the creative industry is becoming so desperate, that they're
mm-hmm.
saying like, we'll make your film, but we got to own all of it. And of course, somebody who has a film is like, well, it's going to be on Netflix. It's an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah,
It's
of
very
course,
Godfather. It's very Mafia,
yeah.
because it's like, I want to get we all want to get our stuff made, but what's happening is the sacrifices to make it are getting greater and greater and greater, to where we get absolutely nothing and Netflix or the streamers get everything. And that
Yeah.
is what we're coming in to disrupt, because we know that's wrong.
Oh yeah, and then the thing is too, it's like I always come back to it because it's just really simple. It's like we need money. Like, I mean, really, like the creativity and like all that we want to protect, and we will protect all of that. But like, this platform is to help monetize and create an economy. Like, we create our own freaking economy that we don't need to rely on the Netflixes of the world. I mean, it's great if you can get it done. Get it done. I think get a distribution deal over there. We applaud it. We actually hope that, like, that all of these bigger distribution platforms can take your project because we want more eyes on it. You know what I mean? But like
Hmm.
Patrick says, we've talked about having our own channel. We've talked about things down the line because some of the best independent movies, like by the way, Goodwill Hunting was an independent movie. When you think about like New Line Cinema was launched with Nightmare on Elm Street,
Hmm.
one of my favorites, Dirty Dancing, independent movie, that no
Yeah.
one thought was going to do anything. It's always these movies that come out and make you feel something, that change something. I believe we have a lot of those. And I also wanted to
And Memento launched Christopher
oh,
Nolan. Memento was made for,
Guy
pennies.
Pearce. That's one of my favorite movies too, but again, a unique concept, something that's,
Hmm.
never been done before that studios would not, bank
They
on
would
or
never
bet
touch it
on.
today.
They wouldn't
They
touch
would
it
never
today.
touch it today. And
No.
and I mean, and I use this example all the time, like Cheers, like the great American sitcom Cheers cannot exist in today's ecosystem.
Oh, I know.
Cheers was had a horrible first season.
Yep.
Seinfeld had a horrible first season.
Yep.
Seinfeld wouldn't exist in today's
Nope.
ecosystem. But
Mm-mm.
because the creators at those, or the executives at these studios at the time, who were television and film focused, who were
Yep.
creatives themselves, they
Yep.
believed in it.
Yep.
And that's that belief, that faith does not exist in our world today. But the
Nope.
creatives have the faith. We all have
Mm-hmm.
the faith. But
Yep.
the people that are running the show don't have the faith. They don't see it. They just see Excel sheets and bottom lines, and they have to feed their investors.
Yep.
They have to, like, we have to make sure that we have money that is just going to Wall Street, because that's who we bow before. And Wall Street's like, why aren't you putting out better films? And they're like, we're trying. We're doing a bet. We got the algorithm that says, make another Joker 3. Like,
A
and they
live
don't
action something.
understand. And an interesting thing about Netflix, I was actually talking to a person, is like, the reason that they have an 8 episode model is because that is the average that their viewers watch in terms of episodes. That's how they came up with that number. It wasn't
Mhm.
like the storytelling, it wasn't like 22 episodes. They were just like, most people turn out by 8, so we decided 8 was the real number, and
Yeah.
that's what we're going with. So it's insane. It's
Yeah.
insane because it's what's driving them are all the wrong reasons.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And shout out to Cheers for actually the best the best theme song to me, and like one of the best theme songs ever. But yeah, when you think about that, it's like the gone are the days of like the Robert Evans. You know what I mean? Who
Mhm.
used to like
Yes.
he told Francis Ford Coppola like, "No, you can make it 3 hours. Go make the best freaking movie."
Yes.
He loved movies. And so you don't have
Right.
those executives running the studios anymore who actually love filmmaking. You have people that used to be executives at Coca-Cola who are like, let me see the
Yes.
numbers. And, well, let's do another superhero movie. Let's do
They
this.
they see it as a product,
Yeah.
like a beverage. They don't see it as an art form.
Nope.
And Hollywood for so many years did this amazing balancing act of business and art. And then unfortunately, the pendulum swung to all business
Yeah.
and the art is being left out. And people are like, "What's missing?" It's the art. It's the art
Well,
form of it.
yeah. But
To
I
a
also
degree,
think,
or great storytelling, and I'm sorry, when I say
yeah.
art, I mean, like, writing,
Yeah.
putting in a good an original idea. That's what I mean by art form. It's just the creativity is being sucked dry from ever it.
But this is the thing, and I'm gonna say this about independent filmmaking, which I think is just really awesome, is that you know, they always come to our party. So when Robert Redford, created Sundance, it was to get away from Hollywood. Let's get away from all of this and let's get out here and create this filmmaking where, you know, um, independent artists could come and do this and and create, and we could have our own film festivals. And then you know it took off, and now you have like A-listers telling their agents and managers like, I don't want to look at that studio project, find me a really
Mhm.
good gritty script that's original. You know what I mean? And so now they're when you go to these festivals now, it doesn't feel independent anymore. It kind of, you know what I mean? It feels like it's a which it does have that component. Don't get me wrong, and I support it and I love it, but I'm just saying that it's changed so much. And so that should also tell people it's like we got to stick to our ideas and what we're doing because they always show up. Like, streaming took off. Now every, company wanted to be a streamer like Netflix. You know what I mean? And so
Mhm.
if
Yes.
we show up, they will. And I also want to say, because I saw a question here about musicians, and I want to just let people know too, Share is also for musicians because we believe, and we all know, music and movies go hand in hand. I mean, if you think about like Pulp Fiction and soundtracks and Boomerang
Composers
sound
and
composers,
all of that.
we're all family, y'all. And so one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're allowing or inviting, I should say, musicians to join the platform too, because there could be some musician out there that's really trying to get, record company sucks too, record industry sucks too, and they're trying to get out there, but they don't, really know how. So it's like they could be in their small neighborhood or their, wherever they live in the world and say, hey, I need a director. I'm trying to get a music video made and this is my song. I'm going to put it on Share, and they could connect and go shoot something, because a lot of directors got their start making music videos, and that
Mhm.
way everyone wins. They put a music video on Share, it starts to make a lot of money, and that could be, they don't have to just rely on SoundCloud or iTunes. They can actually do something visually too, and or they
Yeah.
could submit their music to a movie. Maybe there's a project creator who has a movie and they're like, God, we need some music and we don't have money for the licensing rights. And do you know how much there's so much great music out there too? So we want to let people know,
Yeah.
because someone was asking about music, that we're gonna allow musicians to submit themselves and their music and their art to
And to answer the question about actors, a lot of people are like, "Well, what about actors and getting big names?" You will be shocked how many big names are unemployed right now. That are actually, and I was surprised myself But, when I first got to LA, I remember a line producer once told me, "It's like, you will be surprised how many big celebrities are just one paycheck away from homelessness." And this is affecting everybody,
Mm-hmm.
this contraction of the industry. And you'd be surprised how many big names where you're like, wow, that guy was huge. Or
Yeah.
that person not even was huge, but that person is huge. And
Yeah.
that's a big name. And they're
Mm-hmm.
looking for projects too. They are
Oh yeah.
just as desperate as everybody else. They may not want to show it.
Yeah.
They may not want to be like, I mean, look at Brandon Fraser. Brandon
Yeah.
Fraser was huge in the 90s. I grew
Yeah.
up with him, and then all of a sudden he was cut out.
Yep.
And he even said,
And
like,
the
even with
well.
the success of the whale, he's still
Yeah.
looking to try to make his try to cash paychecks. And the
Oh,
whale was another
absolutely.
independent film.
Yep.
So again, you can get big names, and if
Yep.
this community works, they're going to be attracted to this, because it's like, if I'm an actor and I can actually go to projects and say, hey, I'm so and so, remember me from that movie? And I love your movie that you're making, or I love the television show that you're making, I want to participate. So
Yeah.
yeah, sorry,
No,
go
no, no.
ahead.
You go. I'm so sorry. I was just going to say that, these big actors, they're part of our community too. And I know a lot of people
Yes.
like to shit on them, and a lot of people like to say, well, they're over there making that. Okay. And they're still part of our community. But, Whoopi Goldberg, Zach Braff, Michael B. Jordan, all these people who can't get their projects, funded or weren't able to in the past. I would invite you and would love for you to join Share and put your
Yeah.
project on there, because we could get your projects funded and we could help get our the crew working. Your projects help to get people working on our platform. So you come and bring your projects to Share. If Hollywood ain't feeling you, we will. Bring it,
Hmm.
and literally, let's get it going. We could get it cracking and get people working, so that, again, we want everyone to work, and those projects with their names attached will most likely get funded. You know what I mean? Whether it's smaller investors, because that's another thing, you guys. There's a lot of private investors around. And so if they come to our party, because our party is popping and we got so many people on the
Hmm.
platform, and talented people and eager people and people that want to work, they're going to come. So, I will say this before, because I know it's almost 2 hours and I got to get kids, but
Yes.
um,
Got to
I will
pick up the
say,
kids from school.
kids from school on this rainy day. But I want to say a couple things. One, I want to thank Rachel Hearn, our
Yes.
co-founder, Leonardo Leone,
Chris
Angel
Hatchett,
Williams. Chris
you've been
Hatchett's
working
in
hard in
there.
that comment section.
I see Chris in there. I see Angel Williams. These are our team members and our co-founders, and I'm really, really grateful that you guys came to help us. I'm so sorry we had some technical difficulties to get this started, which kind of threw us all over the place, because we're like trying to test and sound and everything's freezing. But we appreciate you guys, joining us today. And like we said, our community is really strong. We have a really
Hmm.
strong community, you guys. And one thing I know is, like, most of the filmmakers I know, like 98%, if not all, are not lazy. Everyone is
Yeah.
willing and ready to work. So, what
Yes.
we ask you guys, again, is just please, stick with us, be patient. If you go to the Share, www.theshareplatform.com, and you want to, sign up today, go ahead. But please know that you're signing up to our beta site. So we are testing it,
Hmm.
but you could still join the party. Um, and sign up, and we'll be letting you know more of our tools and things that are launching. And we appreciate everything that you guys are doing, all your feedback, and we're here to hear more. We will keep going.
Yes.
Like, yeah, we're part, this is all of us in it
And
together.
and there's a few people I think that joined on later and are asking a question like, why I'm asking this question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, but we may have already answered it actually in the first hour. So but
Yes.
this whole live will be downloadable. So if you wanted
Yes.
to get back to the beginning where you missed off and you wanted to listen to the first parts,
Yeah.
your questions may have already been answered. In fact, I see some of them where I'm like, wait, buddy, we answered that. We don't want to, we want to make sure that the people who are already on this live are getting their questions also answered as well.
Yeah, so sorry. They've been coming in a lot, so we've been trying to keep
I
up
know.
with
It's
it.
rapid fire. It's
It's
like,
rapid fire, and we will answer that. And like, again, we're on our socials, so we'll be talking. But for now, like, if you guys can subscribe to our YouTube channel, it's free. Like this video. We have some other content on there. We're going to be putting our community Greenlight video
mhm.
out soon, which will explain more. And again, the more questions you guys have, it's totally fine. Like, you guys have been hitting us up. Patrick's Instagram and our share underscore films on Instagram. We're happy to engage because we feel like we're all in this together. And so,
Mhm.
you know, there's nothing you guys can't ask, and we're ready to go. Let's fucking go. Like, it's time.
Yeah,
So
let's
let's
fucking go.
let's
I mean,
go.
we've all been hurting way too long. And
Yeah.
again, this is an opportunity. And for whether, it's a chance to do something.
Yes.
Like it's what do we got to lose at this point? Because continuing on the path as it is
Uh,
not going to benefit anybody at this
no.
point. Like
No.
if you are a creative, we have to take our power back. We want to make these shows. We want to make these movies. We want to do creative projects.
Yep.
So if we can do that, if we can have a way forward to do that, that is really all we're asking at this point. And I think a lot of people are just like, just get me back on set again. And that's what we're trying to do. That is really at the core of what we're trying to do.
And more to come, you guys. Like Patrick said, we're having some really big, exciting meetings with like other companies that have been reaching out to us. Like, hey, what are you guys doing? Like, they see the buzz, and we've been talking to people because we want to partner with the right people to bring the right resources to the
Yes.
platform. So, stay tuned. Again, we thank you guys so much, and we will February 24th. We will be live, and again, still be patient with us. We'll be launching our WeFunder campaign too, because I had a lot of people asking about investing in
Hmm.
owning a piece of the company for $200. So we'll be launching that soon too. We'll be putting out some videos and providing information to all of our community. So we thank you guys so
Ricky
much.
J. Glenn, he's back. He's like, who's gonna bring me a bagel? Hey Rick, because I think you've been asking some funny questions. You know what,
I
Rick?
love it.
Because I was a former PA. If you sign up to share, I will personally bring you a bagel, and we will have a bagel breakfast.
Where's he at though? What if he's like, okay, great,
I
I'm in
don't know,
Ireland?
but he's gonna be like, I live in Prague, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
be,
exactly.
I will fly to Prague. You just let me know what type of bagel you want.
Yes, or Uber Eats. How about that? No, I'm just like, no.
No, I like this guy because
Yeah, me too. I like
he was
Rick.
he's feeling it, and hopefully all you guys are feeling it
Yeah.
at the end of this live. Hopefully you all understand our vision. We're humans. We're even me on social media. I'm not a person that um wants the social media accolades. I love this industry.
Yes.
I started when I was a kid. I went to a film school. I have clawed my way up to my position by working hard and doing the extra effort. And it's not because I was chasing something like, Wall Street money. I would never was. But I'm doing this because I love storytelling. I love this industry, and there's some magic
Same.
here that you
Yes.
can't explain to anybody.
Mm-mm.
You go to people who don't work in this industry go to LA, and they're like, LA is just this dusty dirt hole of strip malls and stucco. But we see Tinseltown. We see the creative energy that is in that city, and
Yeah.
that is something that you can't explain outside this community, and we can't even explain it to the people that are running our industry right now.
I know.
So, this is our chance for us literally to thrive.
Yeah.
And we're just asking you to like, hey, if you believe in it, please, join us.
Yes, yes. One last thing, we will be at South by Southwest. We have a panel on March 9th. If anyone's in that area, come join us because it is going to be limited seating. But we have another amazing producer that's joining us, and that is actually going to be Patrick's. We're also going to reveal Patrick's amazing project. It's
my
gonna be the
my
launch of
share
that.
project,
Yes.
and it is, I think, hopefully it'll be revolutionary.
Oh,
But
no, no, no.
I
I'll
showed it
speak for
to
you. Yeah.
the first question you had was like, well, do you have something to have share? And I was like, I have something I'm working on. I showed it, and Erin was like, holy shit.
Yes.
It was like your reaction.
Oh, I was
So
like, "Wait a minute, no one greenlit this?" Like, you guys, what we're gonna reveal It's revolutionary. It's fucking awesome. I'm sorry. It's so good. And we're super excited. And and I'm so happy that he's trusting us and we're putting it on share. It's really, really awesome. So if you're going to be at South by Southwest, we'll have, we'll be launching that then. And then we'll have more information if you're not there. But
Yes.
join us there. That's going to
And
be really exciting.
and Rob, just to answer your question, we're trying to not need the government or LA mayors or anybody to. This is time for us. Like we don't need anybody. We're here to
Yeah.
do it ourselves. That's
Oh, Rob
that's
gets
the
in there.
idea. We are interrupting the system of we need to be told, we need to be handed finances, we need some overlord over the creative control that is not a creative. No, give the creatives their shot. That's
Yes.
all we're that's how these industries started, and that's how we're going to keep them going.
Yep.
With a
That's it.
hammer. Just as a
Let's go. Do our dance. All right, you guys. Much love, community. Everybody stay safe wherever you guys are. Thank you again for joining us today. This was awesome. We'll be hosting another one because I'm sure there's more questions. But like we said, reach
yeah.
out anywhere that we are. Reach out. We'll get back to you. And let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Let's
Thank you
go.
guys. Thank all of you for taking the time out to join our live.
Yes.
And you asked some really great questions. You asked some very hard questions. But again, this is how we build this community.
Yep.
You don't see Zuckerberg going on lives asking how to make Meta better. And look how that's turning out. So
Whew.
this is how we can build as a community. So thank you all for showing up.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Everybody, have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you at our launch.
We'll see you
Bye.
at our
Bye, Patrick.
launch.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, Erin.
Bye.